Welcome everybody to another episode of the weekly InSalt. My name is Wade. We've got some we got kind of a full house in here today. Minus CD, he's sick today. He caught a cold. I'm also recovering from a cold today, so if I sound extra nasally, it's not because I'm getting into sports announcing. It's just because I'm recovering from a cold. I'll still be here with you guys. Here with co-host Laura.
Hey.
Hey, Laura Coppola.
Yes.
I always feel like I get your name wrong.
And now you always get it right.
Good. And then we've got sound engineer Kurt.
I'm here.
You made a lot of changes today. Sounds good,
I
though,
did.
I
did.
I was worried about it all day.
No, dude, don't ever worry about it.
And then I know your last name, Taylor, but Peyton, I don't know your last name. So we're Taylor.
Yep.
Taylor
Taylor Dunn, yep.
Peyton Wunderli.
Peyton Wunderli. And you guys you guys own a very particular piece of real estate on Main Street, Midvale. Some of you might have heard of it. It's the Pearl on Main, or as I knew it, the Midvale Theater, or how many other names does it have?
The Iris?
The Iris.
Yeah, the Iris.
Comedy Club.
Theater,
Yeah.
The Comedy Circuit.
Comedy Circuit.
Yeah.
Comedy Circuit was one of them, yeah.
Yep, was one of the other ones as well, yeah.
So welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's been awesome, yeah. Super cool. We're happy to be on, so.
Definitely. You know what, Laura?
Yeah.
Colds suck.
They do. I just got over one.
And then you just twisted your ankle or something?
I did. Last night. Stepped off a curb wrong.
You had a rough night.
That is the worst, yeah. I've been known for weak ankles, you know. I'm short, so bad hamstrings and weak ankles are like my Achilles heel, dude. Count me out.
They've got you running around the venue just changing everything, just fucking yourself up.
And I am the worry wart, you know what I mean? That's why Peyton and them, they love having me there, because I'm the one that's constantly worrying about the theater. Anything that could be going on, I'm the one paying attention to it, you know?
Kurt's kind of that way for us. Like Kurt,
For sure.
Kurt definitely is like, we got to get the studio phone. We got to get, we're going to have to move the mic. He called me this morning. He's like, do you want to set up the other mic? And I'm like, no, but you're the sound guy.
Someone has to give a shit.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you know what? I've grown up in Midvale. I lived on like 10th East and 7800 South. So that's like the east side of Midvale, right? Not the main downtown part of Midvale where the theater is. But I have spent plenty of time in downtown Midvale, and it's been really cool lately to see the whole environment and the whole vibe change down there. I think the theater in particular has been one of those places that's always been underrated. You know, people always know of it, but it's not like we mentioned a different venue. Like if you know names of venues around, you hear like the Soundwell or the State Room or the Complex, and you just know them. Yeah, you just know them as like, oh yeah, that's that venue. But for some reason, Midvale, that's just never caught.
Yeah.
And I think you guys are setting it up based on, thank you for letting us walk through today. It looks good in there, man.
That's one of those things is we're not trying to hide it, you know what I mean? We're not trying to not allow people to see the space, you know? The last owners, unfortunately, they were doing one show a year, you know? We're trying to have more of that open door policy where you could come in and see it and see if it's going to be capable of doing the things that you want to do, you know what I mean? In both the musical senses and the theatrical senses. And
you're not trying to limit any type of event there, right?
No.
So anything, I mean, we could have a live show there maybe one day.
100%. We're hoping that's going to work out.
Two of you guys listening show up to it or whatever.
Hey, no.
We might sell ourselves short a little bit on that.
I asked about a corporate event. I had something specific in mind.
100%. And that's been one of the big things too, is like the live podcasts and the corporate events have been a big talking point for us, because it's one of those things that fills spaces and it's not a lot of work on either end, right? You tell people to show up, you have a catering happen, you show some slides, you hang out. You know what I mean?
And it's the way the venue is built is it's been there almost 100 years.
1930.
Yeah, almost 100 years, and the venue still has like, I think, one of the best layouts for a venue. It's a total classical theater layout. You walk in through main doors, but if you got to use the bathroom, you're back out in the lobby.
Exactly.
To the bathrooms. You're not like waiting in line while like, you know, music's blasting in your ear or something. And
exactly.
It's very. I'm sure there are some downsides to that layout too.
There's some functionality that comes with it though, for
sure.
Yeah.
And I think that a long time ago I played in bands there, and that was back when like moshing and straight edgers and stuff like that. So there was all these. I don't know who the owner was at the time, But I just remember him being like, "We don't like bands like you coming around causing problems."
Yeah, I caught a black eye there once, like I said. Yeah, totally
But
fine with it.
Nonetheless, these are memories that over like the course of my lifetime I've built in that building. And I was reading on a website, Laura, that you actually had. We were gonna show it on the TV in studio, but it's like a really shitty website navigation. It's just the history of theaters in Utah.
Yep, we look at that all the time.
Yeah,
and there's the names and the history. Some cool old pictures too.
Very cool. With the weird brick formations on the top.
The old marquee signs of the iris, the Burke, all that. Yeah, it's been really cool.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what happened to all that history too.
Right.
And then you get to read a little bit. There's a guest book on that page, and I remember somebody reading somebody's signing of the guest book that just said, "Hey, I used to work here all the time when I was a kid. I used to go get lunch across the street at Vincent Drug." And you could tell just by them looking at those pictures, it like brought back that nostalgic memory for them. And I think with the development going on around there, like it's just primed.
Yeah,
it's primed to be like the venue for Midvale.
Well, we hope too that we're gonna be, included into it. You know what I mean? We hope that we're gonna be, not feel like an outcast for the city or for them. We want to be a staple. We want to be a good starting point.
That catalyst that kind of kicks things off on Main Street.
Oh,
yeah, because there's to be an entertainment anchor on a street that small with that cool old school feel, you don't get that very often. It's something rare. You can't build a Main Street like we luckily have here in Midvale.
So what was your kind of inspiration behind getting hold of that building and doing what you do now with it? I mean, it kind of always has done that, but what was kind of the reason why you thought about picking that up?
We were there for an architecture meeting, which is our main hustle, and didn't really love the use that we were looking at turning it into. And we were in the market for a space for an architecture office, and it penciled to work out that way. So left that meeting, decided I think we're buying a theater. We don't know what we're going to do with it, but it would be cool to be a part of that because we're all inspired by music and local stuff. So to be able to give an opportunity for local bands, for community events, for corporate anything.
And being the start of building out Midvale. I mean, it's a great city.
Right? Yeah, because we've done a lot of really cool plans architecturally for the rest of the street, but getting tenants to go with those plans when they don't have anything that can really support it, for us to be able to support that with something else is really cool for us.
Did it make you nervous?
Oh, yeah.
You're like, hey, we're going to buy a theater.
Are you still nervous?
So we stay nervous, but
especially
it's
like on in my opinion, on such an old street.
Yeah.
You know, the people that come with Midvale Main Street, the majority of them are elderly, or they've been there for 40 plus years. You know what I mean? We're not talking about a bunch of new young families coming in here.
Which is hard to instill change in people like that are so used to it.
But just to show people that there is an opportunity of that happening, and the street to retain that same historic value but be continued on throughout the generations, I think that's one of those big parts that we're like, dude, we want to continue that. Like, we want the street history to stay the same, but we want it to be modernized, right? Like, we want it to be
Is
nice.
that building specifically marked as historic?
No,
it's
not. I was going to ask that.
They would like us to, but a lot of shit comes with that.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
There's a lot
limitations, restrictions.
The way you remodel things have to be done a certain way. The front of the building has to look a certain way. They really, in lack of better words, climb up your ass about it.
We know better architecturally. We've run into too many nightmares with that stuff in other spots and other projects. So for us to avoid that, but still go with the historic name.
So architecturally, no nightmares you found yet in the building? Or is there
nothing but nightmares. No, it's actually been a lot better than we thought. Once we were able to get a lot of the clutter out, I think we realized we had some better bones than we expected.
Yeah, and walking through the space, definitely being in the main theater area, it just has a cool vibe about it. I do remember on the back side, I guess it would be the west side of the building, there's like a couple of VIP box areas, and then there's a lot of this mirrored artwork, and you walk in and it looks kind of weird at first, but it's definitely, it's a vibe. It's cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem weird.
For sure, yeah.
Are you planning on removing any of that old artwork that was put up there? Or?
Yeah, highly likely. We get a lot of pushback on that, especially with the restrooms. So they have those same mirrors in there, and people really like those more than we expected.
Yeah.
So we'll have to figure out if there's a way we can kind of incorporate that into the new design.
It's a little bit of a 70s vibe, I think.
It does.
Yeah.
It just seems so strange to me that when the men's door is open, if I'm peeing in the urinal, you get a full frontal.
That's what I was thinking.
You're getting a full frontal, bro.
I'm like, wow, I can see my own penis.
100%. And guess what? Anybody else walking in can see the same shit, dude. Yeah.
Enough mirrors to make it
same
happen.
thing, bro. Yeah.
I feel like I'm here to for some laser tag type stuff. So they will most likely get rid of the mirrors, but find a way to kind of pay homage to it without removing it entirely, because people like those a lot more than we realize.
Yeah, and acoustics in there are good.
Yeah,
they're good for being such a big space that it is.
It really is. It's I think it's the brick walls. We just got brick walls all around. You get no cell phone service in there either, but hey, that's kind of nice.
That is nice.
That's kind of nice for us too, because you get that time to really get intimate with the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that makes it nice.
I think that's the hardest part, is getting people intimate, but that theater definitely sets it up, because you walk into the lobby, then you're through another set of doors, and now you're just in the theater.
Yeah.
And you're there. So. And the setup with the tables and things. I know you were talking about working on getting maybe a beer license type thing per event, I'm sure.
No, we're going to be a full-time beer recreation license.
Beer will be all the time. Yeah. Beer will be all the time. Spirits would be a single event license kind of thing.
Okay.
But we'd still have the capability of doing that, no problem.
Right, so it's going to be the only spot where you can run movies and get a beer and still have your kid there. So for us to have that to offer, especially in the middle of the valley where it's kind of more in a suburban spot, I think we think that's something that would be cool.
And the growth is all heading out south anyway, so we're starting to get that in-betweener phase, you know what I mean, where Midvale is going to be that new downtown Salt Lake kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's something, for sure.
So. It's been amazing to me how much growth has just happened, well, all over the valley, number one, but just in that particular area.
Yeah.
It's just waiting for that ripcord to be pulled, to redesign it. It'll become something totally different, but I think it's still going to maintain that, like, old Midvale vibe.
I hope
exactly. That's our goal as well.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the biggest thing, is like you need people that are on the street that are willing to make it grow but still keep the tradition. You know what I mean? Keep the historic value of it.
Yeah, I mean, you've already integrated very well into the lifestyle down there, because when we were leaving, we saw Craig.
Craig, man. Craig.
Yeah, you pay the toll. Someone's got to shovel your walk. Yeah, Craig's got me covered.
Yeah.
There's a joke that he was sweeping the bar parking lot and getting a little cash on the side for it, but then the next day there'd just be more dirty.
That's correct.
The garbage
the leaf blower.
He would just put it back where it was. Yeah. That makes sense.
Notice it was dirty again.
Yeah, Craig loves his leaf blower.
Yeah, but that's also part of being part of the community down there.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I live technically in Sandy, but Midvale still holds like something in my heart.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you're not focused on all the theater stuff, what else do you do? Obviously, architecture for you.
Yeah, and then car stuff. I work at a small lube shop in Taylorsville. Supreme Lube and Oil is what it's called.
Nice.
Yeah, a little mom and pop shop. Been pretty cool. I've been there for like 4.5 years now. So they've been it's been a really cool startup for me as well, for them. You know what I mean? They've got to see them grow and see their Google reviews go up crazy. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Taylor, you strike me as the type of person that you like to be more involved in like the building of something than just being like a cog in the machine.
I'm not there for like the money or for like the backing of it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just there because these people want to do something cool.
Yeah.
And my traits happen to help in that aspect.
You
know what I mean?
Level.
Yeah.
Help somebody else grow.
Yeah, like it those people and it's all about time, right? Time's one of those things you can never get back. It's invaluable. You can't say. So
yeah, when you start something like a podcast or something like that, I mean, time is a huge thing.
Exactly.
I've spent a lot of time recently just getting this to be more efficient, because of course you guys coming on the show, taking time out of your day, even if I told Taylor, I was like, we dedicate our whole day to doing this. However, you guys are still taking time out of your schedule, so let's like get down to business and get it over with.
For
and
sure.
move on with our day.
Well, you guys have been great though. Like, you guys have been super convenient. You know what I mean? Really
time,
easy.
all that,
like. And not only that, like, just in all the other aspects of what happens on talking to the public, you know what I mean, when it comes to business. So we really appreciate that.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
So what's
awesome.
like your next milestone for the theater then? I think so. You've got it pretty much set up now. You're taking some shows.
We're just booking it out. That's the next step for us right
now. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, hit us up.
There.
Let us know. We're Taylor at the Pearl on Main. If you guys want to send anything that way.
Yeah.
Anything that you guys need, we'll talk about it, get you into the space, and let's go over it,
Yeah, is that how they get in touch with you?
Taylor Taylor at the Pearl on Main or Carl at the Pearl on Main. Those would both be the contacts.
.com.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, and schedule something.
Yeah, it's a great venue.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, so we want to see what the people kind of want, because we could book the whole thing out, which is our focus, but we also want, like, what does the community want to see there?
Yeah.
Like, what do we not want to drive downtown for?
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be huge, especially with how many people are moving in around there.
Yep.
I just went to a concert at the Soundwell.
Yeah.
And it was an event. I never get downtown. I work from home, so when I go downtown, I have to like schedule my night out, and then I gotta make sure don't drink too much because then I'm probably gonna be driving back. Or I take tracks, and if I do that, if the concert ends at like 11,
or try to catch an Uber there, and then catching an Uber back is a pain in the ass.
We had to buy parking before. Oh yeah, it's tough. So we want to just provide opportunities like that elsewhere.
Yeah, I think the main thing, I guess the closest track station to that theater is by your house, right, Kurt?
Yeah.
7800 South and like First West.
It's like Midvale Center. The center track.
72 and State, or just off of it?
That's
it's not. That's
Are you
too
on the
far
west side
north.
of it?
Yeah, so it's like Midvale.
By Overstock?
Yeah, there's the
There's one down there too.
No.
There's a small
way,
one
sixes.
over by Jordan, the Jordan Parkway too.
Well, I'm interested too if
Yeah.
that would be something that could come in to downtown, like downtown Midvale. You know what I mean? Or we would get public transit more like the light rail system.
The city
into
talked
there.
about extending some stuff there in that and they did a city-run event at the theater talking about what we can do to kind of promote Main Street, and they wanted the public opinion on that. And that was something that was on their new site maps, was something along UTA lines and extending that public transit there.
I think that's something great that you bring up right now that a lot of people, particularly I'm 38, but a lot of people my age and younger don't really get into is if you want to see the changes in like your city, you've got to get involved in the stuff like
Absolutely.
You really
because
do.
they're going to make those decisions with or without you. But your opinion is going to be important to the way that Main Street Midvale is going to be shaped, or your city you live in.
You really could have a voice in that. You really could.
And you should.
And
you're
absolutely.
going to be there for the growth of it.
Exactly. You want to plan to stay there the rest of your life, right? So
you might as well make it better if there's an extra
Mm-hmm.
stop that can be added in to make Midvale Main Street more accessible for you.
Yep.
Or, with the Bees Stadium moving out to Harriman. Doing a bunch of Daybreak, a bunch of construction out there for that. That's all stuff that your voice
That's cool that you're keeping up with that. That's
we just submitted a design for the design competition for the
architecture
former
firm did,
ballpark.
Yep.
So because stuff like that's important. And luckily for us, we have access to that. But we would like more people to understand that they can be involved. But then the cities want them to be involved. City wants to know what people would like to see in certain places.
And maybe I'm wrong.
Go for it.
Exactly.
I feel like the older generation is the ones that are involved, and the younger generation is kind of like left. They kind of don't have a voice.
You're
in
right.
any of those.
Yeah.
So
you're
of
right.
course, I mean, things are going to be hard, difficult to change if the only people representing you are the people who have lived there for 60 years.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Young Mayor Stevenson, Mayor Marcus.
He's killing it.
Yeah, I mean, he represents a whole different group of people that we're not used to seeing on that political realm, which is cool.
He's taking a lot of heat for being as progressive as he is in Midvale.
I like the fact that he's progressive. We need progressive people.
Absolutely. Even if mistakes come along with that, I'd rather have someone representing us that's willing to make a mistake rather than just avoiding
or own up to it, right? Like be willing to say, "Hey, I screwed up." You know what I mean? Like that's the biggest part, is not pawning it off on somebody else.
Yeah, he's proactive. That means a lot. I think whether I agree with everything he does or not.
For sure.
As long as someone's proactive, I think that goes a very long way.
It's like showing you that he's trying.
Exactly.
As long as you're trying, then it makes you feel good as a person living in a city to be like, hey, at least you're trying.
Right.
And if it doesn't work, we'll help you get to them.
Yeah, that person cares.
Yeah.
Because he needs the backing, right?
Yeah.
He needs the support.
And mistakes are okay. They help you grow.
Exactly.
You don't know what you don't know until you know it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And it's about how you handle the mistake, right? You either learn, it's either good or it's detrimental. So you either learn from it or you,
So you kind of have, I guess, you've probably been involved in some of the restructuring of Main Street in Midvale then. Is there anything upcoming that you're excited about or that you can share? I don't know. It's all public information, I suppose, anyway.
The city's doing some really cool stuff by City Hall. They're doing it's like a food truck type outdoor seating lounge thing.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that because they did the Food Truck Friday thing, which we would go pop into, and I think that could end up growing. I personally would like them to move it down to our end of the street. But no bias there or anything. A lot of they have a lot of really good programs to bring in new businesses that will just financially help. Even the purchase of our building, they have this small business loan program where we got it at a rate that like a 1.5% interest rate during today's climate, which is absolutely crazy. So They have that. They have the upper floor housing initiative, so businesses that want to build apartments above their businesses to bring people to support those, they'll pay 50% of
like
that.
the Costco apartments? Have you heard about that?
Oh, no. That's the dream. Yeah, where do I get one of those?
Yeah, apparently I've been doing it wrong, dude. If we're not going to Costco apartments, dude, I've been doing it wrong.
Costco,
Absolutely.
there's a rumor going around that Costco's going to build apartments above Costco's
Really?
now. So that you can just like go downstairs and get all your Costco shit and you're good.
The amount of hot
so
dogs.
you don't have to have a Costco door
catch me there with the glizzies, bro. Catch me there with the glizzies.
Bring back the Polish.
Definitely not like just obesity just skyrocket.
Oh
just
my God, yeah.
Costco slice of pizza every day.
Oh,
I'd
that's the
have
dream.
Welcome to America,
Easy access
baby.
to ramen.
Yep.
love their ramen.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome.
That's a big part of I think redevelopment these days too, is trying to find those. It feels like the Salt Lake Valley in general is becoming a big city because now they're starting to build up. They're being like, let's have people live above, and then you've got like your little bodegas and shit on the corner. Everything should just be within walking distance.
That urbanism.
It's weird to adjust to that because I was used to like when a light would turn red, only one car would run through it, and now there's like four.
Right.
So you got to make sure you're before you turn left that like the fifth guy didn't go.
Absolutely.
And then we were just driving back to the studio today, and I was like, all of the people run on the street, and all the people on their bikes are biking on the sidewalk.
That's so true.
What the hell is going on? And finding parking sometimes, especially down in Midvale.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The city has plans, they said, to build 2 to 3 parking structures on Main Street.
Yeah.
Gonna hold you to it. Hope that really happens because
Wade,
we don't have any parking spaces.
Don't tell the people. I already told Payne he's gonna steal the idea anyway. I
like good ideas.
I'm gonna purchase that empty lot and make it a parking lot.
That's genius. It's genius.
I feel like that's the best business to run with the lowest possible involvement.
That is what we hear from developers all the time.
And you want to put there a parking lot.
You can like make it nice. Like parking lots can still be nice. You know what I mean? Like,
is my car safe here?
Yeah. Like, am I good to park here? Because there's been times in San Francisco I've been. You know what I mean? You're like, fuck, I don't know if I want to leave my car here for 9 hours, bro. Yeah. That's a little intimidating.
Chances are the spot you're in won't let you leave it there for.
That's probably if you're willing to pay. I paid a couple $100 in San Francisco a couple times to pay, dude. Yeah.
Did you ever live in San Francisco?
Never, dude. I could never. No. It's like 2 Salt Lakes on an island, bro. I'm good, dude. I am good.
Oh yeah.
So did you both grow up here?
Yeah. I grew up in Concord Heights.
Yeah, born and raised. South Salt Lake area.
South Salt
where I'm
Lake,
from. Yeah, 21st South and State, right by OC Tanner, Hooker Hotels and all that. You know, people say there's not a hood in Salt Lake. I'll take you, bro. I'll take you.
Taste our cred.
Yeah.
I live close to there.
I got the street cred. Yeah.
Comptonwood Heights, the streets are real rough.
Thanks, Peyton. Make me feel better about it, bro.
Speaking of the Valley, I think that Rose Park growing up always had a bad rap.
Oh yeah.
I've been to Rose Park, and I've known people there. I never really felt like it was that bad. There are worse places in the Valley.
The homes in there are so cool too. It's heavily on the come up too. You see a lot of people sort of in our generation moving there now and doing fun stuff there. So it's impossible. It's not impossible to improve something.
They have great recreational areas. They have a ton of like rec spots that are really cool. You know what I mean? Like they are community involved. Like it just needs the backing to get down in there. You know what I mean?
I think it's getting there too.
I didn't know that, bro. That's cool though. Yeah,
absolutely.
I didn't know about that. That's pretty sweet.
We were actually looking at homes when we were trying to find out where we wanted to land. So.
Oh wow. Yeah. Cool.
Did you buy a home?
Yeah, I bought a home not too far from here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like 5 minutes east of here.
Oh, yeah, he was pretty funny. He's like, I'm pretty close.
This is on my route to work.
Yeah, it's good being like up on the bench here. I guess is this the bench technically? I don't know.
I think it would be the East Bench.
Yeah, I think so.
It's the beginning of the bench.
Yeah.
At least your backyard is in I-13.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
But as we get more busy, I think we're going to have to go through the growing pains too, which is what I think the city of Midvale happens to be going through right now.
Yeah.
Like, where do you put all that traffic?
Right.
And then what do you do? I think you guys have a great foundation for providing great entertainment for the people of Midvale. Yeah. And then also just being on Main Street and guiding that development.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's
been fun, too, realistically, because it's a spot we believed in. Yeah. And we weren't sure who else believed in it. Because we started our business there in that little Coke building. Yeah. And then to meet more people, to see how many other people believe in Midvale Main Street, it's been really cool.
Yeah.
It's its own subculture, its own community, and for it to grow into something bigger than just a subculture.
Yeah.
Will be really fun to extend out every direction in the valley.
We're gonna have to figure out what's going on with that Maverick.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, we do.
Ghetto Mav.
I think everybody's got a crazy gas station by their house, though. You know,
I've definitely seen SWAT there more times than I've seen anywhere else in my time of Salt Lake.
Yeah, Unified. That's their secret precinct right there. That Maverick
is crazy,
which is interesting because it's right next to the police station.
Yep.
Yeah, literally.
Right?
But that's what they say. The best place to commit crime is right next to the police station.
Yeah.
Of course. They're never there. That's
one
why.
of the most
They're never
violent
there.
crime areas on the map in the center part of the valley. So it's exciting to hopefully be part of that improvement and see where things go.
Yeah.
But it's so funny though, because you see like where we were talking the other day, Peyton, about like the Salt Salon.
Yeah.
And like who goes and gets their haircuts there. Like we don't have, I don't know, we don't have like the wrong type of community coming in to the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we have the right people,
especially our section of it. It's not just a perceived safety. I think there's a community looking out for you as well.
Yes, dude. Yeah, there really is.
Yeah, and I definitely have seen that in action. On just being on Main Street Midvale, if something weird's going on, there's always somebody there to be like, "Hey, can we help you with something?"
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, why are you shining flashlights into people's cars? Like, this isn't the area for that.
Right.
No, bro.
You know?
Yeah, that's so true, though. Yeah,
that doesn't happen very often in a lot of places, particularly places in Sandy. It's kind of just everybody just assumes everybody's good, and so they become a target. You know?
Sure.
And then you got to get fed up with your car getting broken into or something. But I think in downtown Midvale, they just never wanted that to be a thing. The community is just like, keep that shit out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't want you to be here. And then they go find some other place.
Yeah, I think being part of the growth is like exciting for you
It's
guys.
fun.
I'm trying to think of ways for me to be part of it. I've had that thought in my head for a few years.
You
now.
are right now. Look, we're doing it.
Yeah.
This is it. This is a part of the growth.
Yeah,
This
definitely.
is what it takes.
And we got other ways planned for her. They're coming.
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
like the plans.
For sure.
Kurt, you've kind of been on an opposite end of that spectrum, which is you live in Midvale, but right next to tracks, like we mentioned. But you're right in the zone of what's it called, mass transit or like mass transit, public transit development
Yeah.
It's a TDI, Transit Development
initiative.
Transit-oriented development.
TOD.
TOD.
Transit-oriented development.
So that means that
what
your
it is.
house is a smaller house built in what, the
1949.
1949. I'm sure that was all houses out there, and there was probably a Union Pacific line where Trax is now that ran through there. That's what they took over. But now Joe Morley's Barbecue, that whole strip mall is all torn down. You've got
townhomes
So
going
sad.
in there.
yeah, there's
so many townhomes and apartments going in right there because
the
it's
unit
right there next to tracks.
just north of you, that unit that's, what is it, like 4 or 5 stories tall?
4.
How many units are in there? Do you know?
There's about 300.
Dang, yeah, 4 with the subparking.
So you've kind of
all
felt the growing pains of that, because you've had to petition the city to let you paint your curb red because you've had cars parking in your neighborhood now and stuff. I think it's only a matter of time before
It's not that I'm against people parking in front of my house, but when I put my trash cans out, and then people pull my trash cans up on the curb and park there, and then my trash
week
cans
extra
get
trash.
Well, that's exactly what it
So-
is when it starts to affect your day to day, right?
Yeah.
That's
I'm like, I didn't paint my entire curb, just enough for my trash cans.
Yeah.
But you've definitely felt the growing pains then.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've shown me many of things off of your security cameras, like your garbage can got stolen.
It did. It got
Yeah.
somebody hauled that out of my day and wheel it out of my driveway.
Right.
They picked it up and carried it.
Sounds about
I
right.
still think that's hilarious.
Right.
What
And then
did
there
they
was
use
just
that for?
a video on Facebook just like 3-4 days ago of somebody in Midvale having their trash can stolen.
And you had to pay what to get it replaced?
$80.
Oh, you had. Oh, dang.
And he had
Okay.
video.
That's insane. Yeah. Right. It's. I think it's. How do we become? How can cities help us be more prepared for the growth of development? Because it's like this weird type thing where clearly we have a housing crisis, and like we have so many people living in the basements of their parents, so we need more homes, but we don't want to ruin what's there. And how can we prepare ourselves, embrace ourselves, and
For the growth.
yeah, exactly, without running everyone out? It's tough, especially like on our end, because like we design a lot of apartments and townhomes, but my wife works for the road home, so it's like
Yeah.
it's this really hard balance of trying to find how do we not just ruin everything that's cool and old here already, the history we have, especially places like Midvale. Midvale has a really cool history
Yeah.
that's just kind of under wraps in our culture.
Oh, yeah. I have a cemetery in my backyard.
Yeah, you do. And then they also
that is sick as fuck. That is hard.
There's
That's
some
cool.
history behind that
Just
one.
waiting for the movie Poltergeist to play out.
Let's go. That is amazing.
That's my dream right there.
I love that. Yeah, that's super cool.
Speaking of that, well, we can't get into. We got a minute left before we got to go to break.
Oh,
but
good. I gotta pee.
I think one of the important things, though, as growth happens, and I believe we're truly in growing pains right now, is just that sense of community. And the community starts with not doing what we've been trained to do for a while here, which is to be at each other's throats, you know? And like when it's a good example is you're driving in your car and a lot of people don't give a fuck what's going on in any other car. It's just about you. You know, if you miss your turn, you just cut 3 lanes of traffic. Like, that's not being like sense of community is, hey, we're all doing this. Let's how can we incorporate everybody into making this better?
Exactly.
Instead of having these opposing opinions on like, well, you don't believe what I believe, so you go fuck yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
But we live in the same place, right? So
it's not going to get any less populated.
Exactly.
It's just going to get worse. So we might as well work together to make something awesome.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, we like that type of feedback because we want to know how to make it better. We don't just build something shitty, have our name tagged on it, and everyone hate on us forever because like, oh man, I feel good. We made like 30 homes for people, but everyone's mad because we did something that's really hideous or it's just a big CMU wall. So that feedback's huge for us.
Yeah, all right.
Especially on the design side,
Yeah. We don't have to be right at zero. I mean, it's kind of weird.
I like that.
We'll be back. I got some great questions that I think we did a pretty good segue into, but we'll be back after a short pause.
Stoked.
And we're back. It's the weekly InSalt. You guys have heard a lot of talk about Midvale. Hopefully y'all live in Midvale, right? I mean,
I live in, I love Midvale. I'm moving away from Midvale.
Our super fan Colin in Canada right now is like, man, I don't live there, but I love that motherfucker.
Move to Midvale.
Yeah, come down, Colin. Come down.
Midvale needs you.
So just to reiterate to the listeners and everything, if they want to book something at the theater, who they get in touch with again? It's called the Pearl on Main.
Yeah, so the Pearl on Main is would be the name of the venue, and then if you're looking to get into contact with us, it would either be Carl@thepearlonmain.com or Taylor@thepearlonmain.com.
Yeah.
And then you can give us a shout out on there. We'll be in contact with you. We'll shoot you an email back. The main thing that we like to do is get people into the space. So, you know what I mean? Shoot us an email on a time that would be good for you to come down, check it out. Let's talk about what you want to do, and then we'll kind of go from there and see if we can make the event happen the way that you guys are seeing it, the way you need it.
Yeah, talk about capabilities and what we have to offer, and then we'll use our network if we don't have those capabilities at the time, and we'll bring that stuff in, make sure it can happen.
Because I can almost guarantee you that if we can't figure it out, I know somebody that can. Exactly. So we will make it happen.
Dan, I think walking through the venue, excuse me, there's the cold, getting rid of the cold. Walking through the venue before the show was super inspiring because you definitely feel the energy in there that it's something that you guys believe in, and just walking through and hear you guys explain what you've done, what's changed since I was in there. It's like, all right, I see where you're going with it. It's good energy. One thing though about Main Street Midvale, there's a lot of old buildings there.
Oh yeah.
True.
Have you ever been in that building by yourself and like some weird things have gone on?
I was going to ask the same thing. Is there like a local ghost, and does he have a name?
There apparently are 2 ghosts in the building, so we've heard Lucy.
True.
I can't remember what the homie's name in the back.
Yeah, there's it's like a girl and a guy ghost are supposedly the ones. Yeah.
But we welcome them.
I'm going to say I've spent a lot of time in there. I spent a lot of time there by myself as well, and I still have yet to see or hear anything quite yet.
I haven't felt a vibe
I do
presence?
get the feeling of somebody watching me quite a bit, but I do know I'm a big ghost guy myself too, so I do know that can be correlated to electrical output, and the theater is fucking full of just like surges and stuff that would probably put off that same ambient feeling of like eeriness, or you know what I mean, kind of things like that. So I have a hard time justifying seeing a ghost yet.
Any ghosts looking for a home, we've got a spot for you.
Though, 100. You want to come through and you want to make Halloween cool for me, dude? Come on down.
Any Hereditary vibes?
Yes, please.
Were you at the bar the night that the lights went out?
No, I wasn't.
You weren't there that night? It just happened like a week or so ago. Every light kind of flickered.
One by one?
At OTT?
At OTT? Oh, yeah.
Our ghost might have been grabbing drinks.
Well, you've had some experiences there where a ghost has like
talked
in my ear. Nowhere. I was sitting next to Laura and she just goes, huh? I was like, I didn't say anything. She's like, I swear somebody just talk to my
ear.
in my ear.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, there's nobody. It must just be the OTT ghost.
Yeah.
Sweet nothings or pour one out for me.
Which I think is a great place for a ghost to be. I don't know. Maybe a bad place, too. I don't know if I'd want to be a ghost in, like, a bar. You're just stuck in there forever. You're like, man.
I know, right?
Dude,
yeah,
it's
it's kind of one of those
everyone.
things.
You haunt the fuck out of everybody?
Absolutely.
What would you do? Would you just, like, come up close to him and, like, let out a little
No,
squeak
spill
or
drinks,
I
dude.
would
I would
spill
spill
drinks.
drinks,
Yeah.
dude. I would
Party
spill
fouls
drinks
left and right.
everywhere.
Depending on how much power I had.
Yeah.
Kicking chairs out from under people. Hell yeah.
Well,
Certain people.
How much power you're willing to dedicate to Payman, that's when you decide.
Hell
yeah.
Payman.
Yeah,
That's
Hell
my
Payman,
guy.
my guy, dude.
Oh yeah, we're big into haunting stuff. I'm a huge horror movie buff.
Huge,
Something
bro.
we're looking at is starting a horror movie club. I'm just curious what the interest would be. That's
He goes
Part of where we're
weekly.
at, yeah.
He goes to the theaters weekly. Like Peyton undermines himself quite a bit. But when he says horror buff, like he's not fucking around.
oh I love.
He
horror
watches
What's
a
your
lot of
favorite horror
movies.
movie?
Yeah.
dude.
Probably Hereditary because it's
Okay.
got some local vibe.
Have you guys seen
Filmed
that?
here.
I have not.
Yeah.
That film was filmed here
Yeah,
in
Park City
Utah.
Film Studios, A24. It's super creepy.
And
incredible.
A24 is a crazy production company, dude. They
Yeah.
are cool.
They filmed stuff at the fairgrounds, South Temple, up in Park City, and it was so creepy and beautiful, and I love it. So yeah, I have a friend. We call her my horror movie friend. yeah, it's like we've been friends for 10 years, and
That's cool.
our only relationship really has been based off of we see every bad
Wow.
or good horror movie that comes out in theaters.
So did you ever watch the movie Rubber?
Oh yeah, multiple times, unfortunately. Yeah.
Bro, hobo with a shotgun, all of it, dude. It doesn't matter what horror movie it was. I'm telling you, Payne's probably seen it, bro.
Robert was out there with a vengeance. He deserved better. They turned on that tricycle. Shit got weird.
Didn't you just recently see The Grinch, the new
Oh
Grinch
no, it was the
film?
Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, the Winnie
yeah,
Pooh
Blood and Honey.
is
That
what
shit
it was.
bad.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Is that a horror movie?
Yeah, they just came out with one.
Public
yo.
domain. Yeah, it's Winnie the Pooh's public domain now. So
Will
they
you pull up the trailer for that?
Yeah, give me a few minutes.
It's
Taylor,
so
will you
bad.
grab me another one of those?
Oh,
beers down
absolutely,
there?
dude.
Thank
Yeah,
you, man.
absolutely.
It's a terrible movie, and I had the best time.
You know what? Some of those terrible horror movies I think are almost more fun to watch.
Yep.
You know, just
You said it was a
because-
horror movie?
Yeah, it's called.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Blood and Honey.
Blood-
Wait till you
Blood
see the
and
cover
Honey.
for it. You'll know. You'll
Oh,
see
yeah.
it.
And there's one that came out last Christmas that I haven't seen yet, but it was called Violent Nights.
Oh my
Yeah.
fucking
Oh,
god!
really?
Yeah. That was more thriller. I was kind of hoping it'd be more horror.
More horror.
But it was
yeah.
still good.
Well, okay.
I saw it
I'm
twice.
intrigued though. What would make the difference for you, Peyton? Like what makes a thriller and what makes a horror film?
That's a good question. It's
just
more
like-
of like an action. I feel like Thriller's more of an action
You
type
want to run
movie
through
Okay.
2 minutes?
with
Okay.
some violence.
We'll
Yeah,
go as,
okay.
We'll go
That's
as far
fair.
as
Or
makes
it's more
sense.
hauntings.
Yeah,
This is,
okay. Like paranormal, you would say.
This is the worst movie I've
Winnie
seen
the
in a while.
Pooh, Blood and Honey trailer. I don't know. Just started from.
Yeah, anyway,
there.
Piglets here to fuck stuff up.
But this is what I'm saying though. Is like Peyton sees this kind of shit regularly.
Yeah.
Like he watches scary movies all the time.
And they claim it's a community because this when I
There's
saw
a
it,
lot
it was
of people that like them.
right.
It's true.
I'm
The
not
theater
one
was
of them.
full.
I love
love-
zombie movies.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, the theater was full for this movie. I didn't expect it because we see a lot of movies that are empty.
I was
Not
gonna
this
say.
one.
You said generally speaking, the theaters are usually pretty empty when you guys go. Yeah.
Terrifier 2 was us and another guy sitting behind us who scared me so bad.
Yeah, so in the jacuzzi,
Oh, yeah.
they made Pooh Bear look really creepy.
Yeah,
see him.
Piglet pulling up with tusks.
Is it like Chucky?
Oh
Yeah. This is
Oh,
great.
right.
Dude, I love that. Nice.
yeah, the budget was $7.
They were
What
like,
the
hey,
fuck?
Yeah.
what can we go to Dollar General and make a film
and
out
Pooh
of?
Bear pulled up with pants, which is just not my Pooh Bear.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, red tea only.
Oh, was she in some S&M stuff there?
Yeah, a little. It looked
Winnie
like
the Pooh, Blood and
Honestly,
Honey.
I've
Blood and
erased
honey.
most of the movie from my memory.
Fair enough.
Do you
think,
I don't put it past you.
Do you think a cool concept for like a Halloween thing at the theater is you just announce that you're doing like a double feature movie night with a couple of horror films, but then in like every now and then in the movies you just have like one of those guys with a clapboard.
Oh, yeah,
Wait.
that's not a bad idea.
Wait, hear me out.
That's not
Hear me
bad
out.
thought.
This
I
is
like
what we
that.
want to do. I would like to do like a ghost tours. I would like to be
Okay.
a part of the ghost tours.
We've had a
Yes.
couple
And
people on our show that are really into that.
Really?
and
That's what I'm
would be
saying.
totally down to do like probably rent the venue out and just spend
well, that's
the
what
night.
I'm saying. Is like we're talking about hourly rates. That's going to be our new thing. So you come through, you could rent the theater for a few hours, take your EVP meters in there, you know what I mean? Take some audio recording equipment and see if maybe you catch something cool. Yeah. You know what I mean? That would be sick for us.
That would be
Austin Post Malone.
Yeah.
I know you're into that.
We need if Posty,
that's what I'm trying to get. I've been trying to get Post Malone ever since I started the
podcast local.
Let's collab, dude. I'm telling you, he wants to go to those intimate theaters. He wants to do it.
Underplay.
That would be cool.
Yeah. I'll have my team start reaching. We already have. We've already reached out to him a bunch of times.
I like that.
Well, but how about you guys share that information with us as well, and then we could do a collab meetup on him.
I just feel like the more poking you do with somebody like him, the better chance you have. He's going to catch a glimpse of it and be like, okay, I'll check it out.
Persistence, bro. Persistence goes a long way.
So have you thought about doing like Halloween things?
Like
We love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we'd love October there should be more movies rolling.
It's just the hardest thing is like the movie rights thing. It's like hard to find films that we can play in front of 150 people and not have to pay anybody.
Yeah.
Or like where we have to start wondering if we're going to get in trouble if we don't pay people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, and a lot of the horror films too are produced by these bigger production companies. So,
well, that's the thing with A24 is they're pretty small.
Yeah,
so if we can get them in,
film studios quite a bit.
If we could get them in, but you're exactly right. Yeah, you're exactly right.
I think that there's a thing like there's always a saying that's ask for forgiveness. Don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness. But when it comes to shit like movie rights, you gotta ask for permission.
Yeah. We were working with Universal and they sent this contract that just scared the shit out of me.
Holy shit!
I was like, I think I'm gonna look at this like in 3 years from now. And we're gonna figure out music. Exactly. Yeah, we're gonna go concerts for now. But I would love to get that horror movie club type rolling because if there's enough people, that would be game.
And the aesthetic.
I think
the aesthetic would be so fucking easy to do at the theater. Like we could a few spider webs, not even. I just won't clean for a week, bro. I'll tell you. I just won't clean for a week.
Exactly. Yeah, which is something we've
that would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, we talk about like running grease when they do the car show.
For sure.
So trying to find certain themes. Like this week they had the Kingsbury Hall thing with the Sandlot guys, and if we had known before, we would have tried to swoop. Not like
we would have been on Kingsbury so quick though.
Yeah, I think it would be the right spot for it. I think there's a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, I think one thing. So think of Fear Factory, right? That was just that abandoned like factory that was downtown. They converted it into this like one of the best haunted houses in the United States, I've heard.
Yeah.
But they also have that waiver you sign where like, are you okay if somebody like touches you or like something like that?
Yeah.
But imagine doing a horror night where you're like, is it okay if somebody scares you like by grabbing you? So they're in the like everybody's focused on a screen, but then you've got like your actors behind them that assume, like
right. We have so many people in the community theater world. I think that would be an easy thing for us to bring in.
So it's just watching a movie, but you're mixing haunted houses with movies.
See, instantly,
like
my idea goes to just like draped curtains hung over the main part of the theater, where you could split it up into like 6 or 7 sections or rooms. Right?
Turn it into a haunted house for
sure. 100%. Like it would be so easy to do it.
But I'm thinking like just show a movie, but then you just have some people walking around. Just like grab somebody's ankle and they're like, shit.
Dude, it gets so dark in there. You could have somebody lay down on the ground easily.
Not even.
I won't be there that night.
The first movie I watched in there was Hereditary.
Yeah, I missed out.
There was like 4 of us in there, and it was absolutely horrifying, and it was great.
So what is so you obviously have been into film for a long time. Do you know a lot of people in the local film community?
Not at all. I just love horror movies. Yeah, but I'm open. If you're out there listening, we need to have conversations.
The reason I just asked that is because I was curious. We have a lot of people that have been in here from like local actors. I'm sure you've met Dale McKeel. He's been at OTT a few times.
He was a manager at Topgolf.
Oh, yep, definitely.
Yeah,
Carl, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so Carl, one of the other owners of the Pearl on Main, Carl, he used to work at Topgolf along with me, and that's kind of how we became friends, and that's how Peyton and I actually met. Was through Carl.
The Topgolf riffraff.
Yeah.
Hanging out at OTT.
Opened up the Topgolf down in the day,
Yeah,
I was there for like 3.5 years. It was a chill experience. It's pretty cool to watch it come into what it is.
Yeah, so Peyton, you got in. You do architecture. We talked about that a little bit. And one thing that I wanted to bring up is we talked about it a little bit in the first half, but all these new apartment buildings going up and stuff. There's one going up in Midvale.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned that your architecture firm kind of is designed that.
We designed that bad
Let's
boy.
be clear about that. You didn't
design.
You're designing it. You're
didn't
not
develop.
Yeah, you're not the developer for that. And a lot of people around that area were kind of up in arms about it. They fought back, which
is
fun to watch.
By all means, by all means, like, fight for your space. You don't want a big building going in there. Cool, but at the end of the day, it's being built now. Yeah, and I think that a lot of people have questions like parking. Where's parking going to go?
100% questions we had too.
Yeah,
and all the concerns I think are really valid. It's an interesting world to be in and to see, because we don't want we just want more feedback from the community in general to know how to design to these things, because it's going to happen regardless. Like if we try to fight it, they'll just bring another architect in. And they'll make something. So we want to contribute to our own street, to our own communities.
Yeah, keep it in-house. Yeah, keep it close to home.
Exactly. Yeah, we want Taylor wants to live there. So it's kind of a fun thing. It's creating commercial opportunities because there's going to be a couple tenant spaces on the ground. Yeah. So it's a weird balance.
So is it a constant battle? Obviously, you mentioned feedback. So you would like the feedback so you can design the structure around
what the people want.
Exactly. Yeah.
But in my opinion, and this may be overstepping, but the feedback isn't in the right format quite yet.
Yeah, it's tough to find out.
The feedback that we've received as of late, at least in Peyton's terms, you know what I mean? And I'm new to the world, but it's been involved in the bar community and things like that. You know what I mean? Where you're not really sitting down and talking about the logistics of what the reality of it is. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I'm sure the city has a hand in that too, but I think a lot of people are afraid to give feedback to the city because they feel like they're not heard.
That's fair. Exactly. That's fair. That's a very fair point.
And how do we...
Those meetings are open to the public.
Exactly.
You should go.
And no one goes.
Yeah.
But it seems intimidating. You know what I mean? It seems intimidating, but the last one was a good eye-opener for us at the theater because it was all hands-off, as in, like, nobody knew. Nobody knew that you were voting for that type of thing. Like, they just gave you a keypad, and you sat down in the chairs at the theater.
It's not public record like a city council or planning commission meeting, which is intimidating. Yeah. Because we see a lot of feedback of negative things people don't like, but then we show up to the city council meeting and no one's there. Mm-hmm. Even though I've seen 200 comments about how this sucks. And for us, like, our big mantra is the best idea wins. Yeah. So like we just want to hear good ideas. Yeah. Like, how do we make this better? How do we make it better?
Sucks. Tell us what you want.
Exactly. Yeah.
What can we do to fix it? Don't focus on the problem. Focus on the solution.
That's such an interesting concept in today's, like, with social media and everything. It's so easy for people to criticize without providing a solution.
Exactly.
They just tell you, like, I had a bad experience, and it'll be all over your social media. But as soon as they have a good one, you hear nothing.
Yeah. Right. How do I fix this? How do I get better? How do I improve? How do we make it better for everyone involved?
Yeah. Those are the people that are afraid of change. They don't. They're very afraid of change. I see that at work all the time. It's like, change is good.
100%. Yeah.
And how do we adapt to that change? Mm-hmm. How do we prepare ourselves for that change that's coming?
That's what makes the difference, right? Is the key word there is the adapt. Like, the biggest thing that you'll find in business, at least in my opinion and what I've seen, is the people that can adapt. The people that can change the way that they're thinking into saying, like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not it's not the stubbornness of being like, oh, well, I only know this one way. It's like, no, somebody knows a better way than you.
Right.
So take that way.
If I live next door to
make it easier.
Fucking make it easier on yourself. Yeah.
If I live next door to an apartment and I have to stare straight into their parking lot, I get why there's a complaint that there needs to be a wall there. I would want the wall there. 100%, I get that. And sometimes we might just miss that on our end, and we just want to have that conversation. Mm-hmm. So it's how to create that platform for people to get their voice out there, or how to educate on how to get their voice to the city, to the state, to any municipality.
So trust that they're being heard and listened to.
Exactly.
Because we talk, I'd rather I'll learn more about what the community wants just by going to OTT. Yeah. Then I will going to a city council meeting, unfortunately.
And we go there regularly. Yeah, we're there all the time.
And you're making me think, too, is that maybe the way that the system works, the community doesn't feel like they can really, their voice is heard until they're upset.
I would concur.
So maybe there's some changes, where maybe make it easier for citizens to submit feedback, even if it's just like a landing page on the internet where you just type out all of your criticisms. And then
you could still be the keyboard warrior, but hopefully your notes would still be read.
Yeah, it's inclusive. Inclusive early on, not at the last minute. Here's what's going to happen. Instead, here's what's happening already. You can't stop this. But what could happen here?
There's a
what
big
could be
push
good?
These days now. I think that we've seen it a bunch in the media, a bunch on the on the news and locally and Facebook. And it's if you can get enough response to your post, then you inspire change. But maybe the reality is rather than going to all these people who back you, you just go straight to the people who can make the change.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Why do you have to create an uprising to get change when you can just contact the people who can make it right before it even gets to them?
Exactly.
Yeah. That is a great point, yeah.
And I think I wouldn't know where to go for, say, Sandy City. I live in Sandy. I know where I could start looking, but I think I'm already past the point of a lot of people to know where to look. People are just like, I'm just going to vent on Facebook.
Yeah.
And
hopefully somebody hears me.
Exactly.
But then you're kind of ruining reputations at that point, because now people seeing only the bad side of things. Not the word to get out that you're changing.
And we feed off the negativity stuff too. Yeah. It's like, and I live in Sandy City too, and I have a better idea of where to go, but I still don't fully know.
Yeah, me either.
And luckily, for us, we have the resources of, if I want to buy this building at a better interest rate, here's where I go. But not everyone has access to that or knows where to start. So how do we educate? How do we help? And it's tough because we're in that kind of middle ground seat, like you're saying, like we're not the developer, but also we want to contribute in a positive way and make stuff that's good for everyone.
Yeah, you're designing the building, but in your sense, you're almost more important for the community because you want to design it around what they really want and need. Whereas the developer, no offense against developers, they want to develop the land and start making money and move on with the next development.
Exactly,
And I'm sure in a way the architecture firm wants to move on to the next project too, but they're trying to look out for, hey, if we just put an entrance here instead of an entrance here, it's going to save a lot of people trouble for parking here or something.
Well, it's functionality, right? That's where the architects come in, is like the functionality of the building, making sure that it can be as efficient as it can be.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes it fun too, because then the community or whoever was involved in that, it feels like that they have a part of that design.
Yeah.
And it's like
to say that, hey, I got this entrance put on this side, you know what I mean? Like, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Like,
Kurt, you went through a little bit of that when they were building those structures around you. What did you do when you wanted to be like, nah, I don't like how many floors are going to be on this building?
Yeah, what was that process?
Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah.
You just go down to the city council meeting.
Exactly.
That's it.
Show up to city council.
They usually have a public meeting with the developer or whoever.
Yeah, the open house, and then they'll do a city council meeting, then a planning.
And come with your questions, man. Come with your questions.
Not complaints, questions.
Come with questions. Come with things that you genuinely think are gonna be additional. You know what I mean? Don't come with just riffs. That's my biggest thing. You come with I'm
even fine with some of the riffs.
Probably intimidating to a lot of people.
Pipe dreams.
Yeah.
Well, and I agree with the pipe dream thing, but I think it's intimidating to a lot of people to show up in person, especially after COVID.
Oh, 100%.
But I think they're doing the town hall meetings and stuff. Like you can call in from Zoom now.
Yeah, they're doing online.
So you can stay at home, and of course,
well, the thing at the theater too. The thing at the theater, we had plenty of seating that you could sit plenty far away from everybody and do your own thing.
We'd love to host more like city type meetings like that to get feedback, which was a fun one to work with the city on.
It creates a less intimidating atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more quaint, small.
Yeah. And how can we create that outside of the municipality itself? Like it's a service that we would like to try to figure out how to help offer for communities that are having a hard time with stuff. Because like, say that apartment across from City Hall is coming in, like this is happening, but how does it not suck? How can we make this something that is not terrible?
For sure.
We can't stop it.
Yeah.
But what are we going to do to make it something that's
Let's
the
talk
right
about
product here?
Contributing. It's contributing.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and not all developers like to hear that, but some are on a corporate level, but some are local people that are just individuals who happen to have enough money to do what they want to do, the right thing sometimes, but not always.
Yeah, and going to a city council meeting to thinking that you're going to stop this, it's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to stop construction because there's lawsuits from the developer that would happen. So they're going to build something, but you do have the power to change what they were going to build.
Exactly.
So like the townhomes right across the street from me.
Yeah,
that was supposed to be like 200 apartment units.
Yeah, that's where we
with
start.
They were going to build this underground parking structure that wasn't going to work, and everybody was like, where are you going to park all these vehicles? They're just going to fill up the neighborhood. So finally they came back and put these townhomes in. Instead of, it went from like 200 units down to 40 townhomes. So something got built there. Better, we couldn't stop that.
Yeah, but that I think that's a positive thing because it's probably going to bring in the right demographic that fits what's already there.
There was so much pushback from the residents that we got that plan changed.
It's a compromise. It's a compromise. That's what life is. Life is a compromise. That's what it is. Finding that happy medium, you know what I mean? Finding that space where it's okay for both sides.
Yeah, and for us, like it's okay for a project to get stopped and have to pivot. Like, that's how it should be. Like, I don't want to just decide, like, I think 300 homes should be here.
Could you imagine just doing copy and paste all day, bro, where you didn't have to fucking change anything that you did, bro?
Who might live here? Who already lives here? Yeah,
that would be such a boring job.
Just like, here's another 200 apartment complex.
I could only imagine, dude.
Yeah.
That's what's so cool about the Hive Design Group. Like, that's so cool about you guys, that you guys take that intimacy level into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
We just like to be normal people and have conversations instead of be fake suits.
Be regular.
We want to have a just really laid back setting where we have a conversation.
Hey, good on you guys.
The product's coming from there.
That's hard to do these days. Like, I'm honestly just talking about it makes me inspired to be like, let me look up some changes going on around me and get involved with that.
Yeah.
Wait, good for you,
I think
man.
that's
how it should
thing.
be, brother.
Yeah.
That's how it should be, man.
I think a lot of people just, they kind of live their routine, which I'm guilty of too.
Oh, same.
For sure.
We all are.
Sometimes you get tired of being creative, or you get tired of going out of your comfort zone.
100%.
And so you just like conform, and you're like, I'm good. I think it's good to just question things, especially like Kurt in your situation where those apartments were hitting so close to your literal home. You're like, okay, I don't really want to go out of my way to do this, but I don't want this shit to affect me, so I'm going to see what I can compromise with.
Yeah, and at least have tried, right? Like, if it hadn't worked on your end, still, you put that effort forward, and you can live with yourself, right?
And that's the difference. That's what it takes. Like, that's what people need to do, just that little bit, dude.
Yeah, results aren't guaranteed, but at least you put forth that
exactly.
effort.
Exactly. Make it a personal win.
We had almost the entire neighborhood pushing back.
For sure.
We filled up that city council chamber in Midvale City,
which is ideal to see. Like that. Oh, people.
That's
give a
what
shit.
you want. Yeah.
I'm sure there's certain camaraderie that came from that in the neighborhood too. Like the neighborhood's probably even more together than they've ever been just based off of that one event alone.
And even I walked up to that podium and had things to say.
Hell yeah, dude!
I'm so and so. I live here. This is what I have to say. I only have a few minutes.
That's amazing.
Which is ideal.
Sometimes that's a lot better than like filling out an Instagram post with a bunch of comments.
Yeah.
Right.
You have a bunch of bodies in a room.
Yeah.
With the city, with the city saying, hey, we're not sure about this. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. Like you said, and maybe if enough people talk about it, it's like, okay, let's go back to the drawing board.
Absolutely, which we're down to do.
Let's figure out what's best for the community.
Especially Midvale City, they're very down.
Yeah, and progress is progress. Even if you have to adapt and make a change, people don't realize how much they're bringing to the community, how much growth we're going to have, how much money it brings.
Yeah.
Supporting our local businesses.
Some would say it's selfishness, right? Some would say they only see the things that directly affect them. You know what I mean? Like I see the theater as being a benefit for a whole of a community, not just for myself.
For a resident, by all means, you've lived there say 40 years. Be selfish.
That's fair.
Be
selfish. Yeah, that's fair.
I don't live there. I'm not going to live in the new thing coming in.
That's a good point.
I don't live. Yeah, it's not my neighborhood. What does the neighborhood want?
Right.
And what kind of what's your future demographic? Who do you want to bring in?
Yeah.
What kind of future do you want to support with your neighborhood?
And I think we're all kind of unique in this room in the sense that we are all here because number one, we kind of enjoy that sense of community.
Yeah.
We embrace like a change and an open discussion about like what things can be.
For sure.
We know what they could be because they have been.
Yeah.
Now we're here talking about things that can be. What they should be. Yeah, the future. And it's going to come whether we like it or not. We're going to go to bed tonight. Tomorrow we're going to wake up and shit's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
So you might as well put your hand in the ring.
Yeah.
I hope it's a little bit different every day.
Right.
It'd be fucking boring.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if I had to wake up to the same shit every day, I
watch Groundhog Day. I'm not about to do that.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Hey, shout out Bill Murray though, dude. Bill Murray.
Go Bill Murray.
You could book Bill Murray.
Oh my God! If we could, that's legendary. That is legendary. If we could get Bill Murray in the space, dude, that would just be dumb, dude.
Well, I think you guys and our podcast specifically, we can probably work together because I have a lot of connections, network connections from doing this. They could probably help you guys out.
Wait, this has been awesome, man. So, This has been so cool.
Hope you guys really had a good time, man. Thank you.
Genuinely, you guys provided a great space, dude.
It's been great.
It's been so cool.
Yeah. How do they get in touch again? Just in case.
Oh, so if you're looking to get a hold of the theater stuff, it's the Taylor at the Pearl on Main or Carl at thepearlonmain.com.
CARL.
Yeah, CARL. And then if you're looking for any architecture stuff, it's the Hive Design Group would be who you're looking for on that side.
Peyton, Peyton at hivedesigngroup.com.
Cool.
Anytime you want.
Well, thank you guys again, and hopefully we're going to hear a lot more about the Pearl on Main.
Absolutely.
Sure.
This has been your weekly insult. Thank you guys, man.
Thank you. That was fun.
It was fun.
Appreciate that.
Makes me excited about the future.
I know, me too.
It seems like it's in pretty good hands. I mean, I don't know you guys that well yet.
We bold move to trust us.
Let us come down and talk about it.
Oh, appreciate it. Sorry. Amazed that you guys are wanting to be part of the growth and progress. So that's